Hey guys, Zect here, and welcome to my first impression video from the Musa succession. First off, planned to do this video yesterday, but I had to do some more testing and researching and stuff, and I also play Succession just for one day and a few days on PC, so yeah, I just wanted to get some more information to give you guys the best possible first impression I can do. So, let's get into it. Musa Succession. First off, for the people that are here that want to know, is Musa Succession better or Awakening? For us on console, there's definitely no really better one. On PC, you read many things on Reddit or in forums or elsewhere, Discord, that Musa Awakening is bad in PvP and high-end PvP and stuff. And I can understand why they're saying this, because Musa has problem in Awakening with high evasion targets. He got buffed a lot with projection and some other PvP buffs, and since that he's definitely better. But still he has problems in Awakening on PC. But for us on console, since we don't have Kafras, we don't have many players with full pen gear and stuff, for us on console, you can definitely play Musa Succession and Awakening, and without being like have a disadvantage by playing the one or the other. PvE buffs for Awakening made Awakening really strong, and I tested like yesterday, nearly the whole day, like a few or 6 hours or something like that. And I'm not that good with grinding Succession yet, because I need to get used to the skill rotations and muscle memory and stuff. And but I still think, since the buffs, Awakening is a bit better in PvE. However, since we have this mob reduction, and our rotations are capped with the trash loot we can make per hour, because we don't have that much mobs as PC, and we can't really grind 2 rooms and stuff. Both kits are absolutely viable of doing a good amount of trash, like maybe not the best one, but also a decent one of the better ones in his Shian Agman. So you play just what you prefer, honestly. I will play Succession for a while, even PvE. I have to say, I like the Awakening grind a bit more, not because it's faster or slower, it's just because of the button inputs. I just like it a bit more. Especially now where you have to use Twister more, it's just pressing A after every skill is pretty chill, instead of using Rising Storm Blaze all the time for Succession. And yeah, so Musa Succession and Awakening, for us on console, we have the good possibility to play both kits, and there's no really better one. What is really good, and I think it should be that way, that you just choose one or the other. There's Musa Succession has some disadvantages about Awakening and the other way around. For example, what I noticed, Awakening has a bit more outplay potential. Awakening has more ways to CC, so you to engage. Awakening has less stamina issues. Awakening has the BSR skills, what in my opinion are like also a really good way for burst damage, and because you have, for example, the 50% BSR below the belt, it's a really good for large scale, and also the 100% can be really good for large scale, and you're missing this in Succession, and you feel this. However, Succession has more damage. You can deal more damage to evasion targets, especially in a combo. Your combo damage is higher. You completely delete people with like 10 armors, even at like lower AP, but when you're like above 269 bracket, your damage is has super high. The SA damage is also really good. However, you have more stamina issues. I played Notor already with Succession. From what I've experienced, Succession is definitely a bit worse in large scale. This is maybe not on PC, but with the performance with 10 FPS, and you know that you go Lord War, you have 30 with 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 people, well 60 people, and the performance is like not good, and you need to aim a bit more with your super armor Gale or with your Backstop Slash or something like that. It's definitely harder. Also, when you want to do your Rising Storm Blaze, what is one of your hardest hitters, it's really slow because of the FPS, because of the freezes, lags and stuff, and the Awakening is just the more safe kit to go here if you want to do large scale. I will definitely test Succession more in large scale and get more used to it, and I tried also RBF. Since Musa relies more on his damage, because, for example, you're missing your AoE CC, you're missing your 50% below the belt, so you can't really CC multiple people at once. You only have Cross Crusher for that, really, or you have like a Lucky Debyte where you're CCing multiple peoples. It's an RBF. I felt he was a bit also worse because you have this damage reduction going on there, and when you can't delete people with your AP, you have a bit of a problem. And I noticed that a bit. I need to get more used to the class, and see how I do in a few weeks, or maybe something like that. But in general, I would say both kits are viable in every criteria, and more or less they're even in 1v1s. For example, Succession Musa is definitely a bit worse against Hashashins, but maybe a bit better against Tamer. I had the feeling like that. But yeah, they're both really good, so there's no best one. And this was like a bit long now, but we're getting to the skills. I will quickly go over the skills, and we'll just explain shortly what skills we got. So we have the first prime skill is Divider. This is Divider was in pre-awakening back then. Pre-awakened times it was our sustained skill, what you get 5% HP of your max HP WP per hit. And Prime Divider is now DPS skill. It does decent damage. You also get your HP back, however you have a 4-second cooldown. So if you have problems with your HP and PvE, you can use the absolute version, because the absolute version has 0-second cooldown, so you get your life back with every hit, and you have to wait for the cooldown to get your HP back for the prime version. So if you want to go for more sustain, you can go with the normal Divider. You don't really need this for damage. I mean, you can use it, but you have other skills for damage. Backstop Slash is one of our new SA traits. It keeps the 50% movement debuff, which is really nasty. I also have a skill add-on on this for evasion and accuracy, that is really good. It deals high damage, and the range is also really good. It's also good for comboing and stuff, so really good skill here. The next is Blind Slash. This is the new Rising Storm float, I would say. So when you floated with your Rising Storm back in the Awakening days, you will do this now with your Blind Slash. And I also have a skill add-on on this one, but skill add-on wise, I'm not sure what to pick yet. I'm just testing a bit around. Just important that you have like a few crit modifiers, monster damage and attack speed. And yeah, you can mess around with that a bit. So yeah, we'll have a look what I will pick in the future there. So really important skill. The next one is Gale. Oh no, sorry, Carver. Yeah. For Carver, you definitely want to pick the absolute version. The prime version is stronger. However, you don't need the damage. Also, you don't really need the DP shred. In History on Agma, the mobs will just die too fast to like apply this DP shred. In the end, when you use it in PvE, you will making less trash loot, because you need to do the skill and debuff every enemy, because it's not like high AoE or something like that. So you don't really need the DP shred. Maybe when new grindstones like Stars End or Sakraya come out one day, we can use that. But the absolute version is better, because when you activate your Tiger Blade, you can use your carver like first way faster, and second every hit is a float. And since you're fully protected like in Tiger Blade, you can CC with every hit. If you use your primed carver, you have the 6 seconds cooldown, so you need to wait 6 seconds until you can float again. I don't know why they did this. Also, this carver is really slow compared to this one on Tiger Blade. I have no idea why they did this. Make no sense in my opinion. They should change this, because you can just pick this one and don't have really a disadvantage. So for carver, if you use Tiger Blade, and you need to use Tiger Blade because it's really strong, use the normal one. Use the absolute version. So for Gale, Prime Gale is also one of the hard hitters now. It's a super armor on the third hit. You can activate the third hit after certain skills. So for example, after you do Steambite, you can instantly do this. And this is also a lingering SA. What that means is the super armor lingers until the end of your animation. So when you do Gale on the third hit, the SA applies until now. So until you're back in your stance, you have super armor. So if you want to just chill in that for a second and catch a breather on a fight or something like that, you can do that. You're fully protected. The only thing that can get you out of that is like probably damage or a grab. So you can't be CC'd while you're in this animation. So until now. So just for you to know. Also, this works after blind. Sorry, I had a little freeze. It works after blind thrust. This works after debites. After blooming. When you do like your blooming, it works also after blooming. I think also after your blind slash. So you can use the third hit from Gale after many skills, what is really good, because this is super armor. And top of that is also an evasion debuff, what is really good again in PvP, also in PvE. And yes, this is basically one of your most important skills. You still can use your normal Gale, like when you CC someone, can still use all the hits. And also for Gale, Gale in Awakening was a bit bugged sometimes. It didn't work. However, I don't know why that is, but in Succession you don't have those problems. So I didn't have one problem with Gale so far. So this is really good. I really like that. Was a bit worried that Gale was like bugging as well as the absolute version. So yeah, really good skill here. The next one is Steambite. Not much more to say. It's Steambite, bit stronger, looks different, does the same shit. Yeah, Steambite Prime version, different sound effect, bit more damage. I think that's all about it. Rising Storm, also one of your new SAs. However, Rising Storm loses the float, and I already read some people think that's a bad thing. That's actually a really good thing. I know in group fights that is not really good, but for comboing your opponent, this is really good, because, for example, you can use that, and you can you can use that, and this enemy here counts as a mob, so he gets floated. But after you stun someone, you can use your Rising Storm, and he didn't get CC'd, what is a good thing, because this is a filler skill, so you have more damage in your combo. And yeah, also this is an SA, so full super armor, obviously it nullifies the SA when you just spam it. Also, if you have the blue buff active, so your Syrian Mind buff, we come to that buff later, but when you use the Rising Storm off cooldown, you are always unsafe. You are always unsafe. Keep this in mind, even if you have the blue buff. So, what this skill doesn't say is Rising Storm Blaze is also a super armor. So this move, this chain, this blue buff is also a super armor. So you have full SA in there, and you keep the super armor when the blue buff is applied, I think. We had a test of this, but it seems like the super armor is still there when you have your blue buff active. Yeah, but we come to that later. So not much more to say about that. Rising Storm damage skill. Cyclone Slash is really fast now. This is your tornado skill. It is it floats. It did more damage. It's way faster, but it's also a really good combo skill now, because you can do it after Blind Slash, and it's an air attack. So this will kill most not geared like Ortet people. If you stun someone, you do your Rising Storm, and then you use Blind Slash to float them. And these legs, wait. And you press just RB or R1 for PS4 to cast the Cyclone Slash. So this just like looks like that. It's just this little combo. They makes tons of damage. You can like merely half-life or even annihilate people completely with just this two skills. Is super strong. Yeah, just for you to know. So maybe don't spam this too much, because you could need it in your combo. So blooming is your next skill. Primed skill. It's yeah, it's about blooming. It's unsafe. It has an iframe and the startup animation. However, on the attack, it's unsafe. And about blooming, one word for the start. I already saw Musas spamming blooming in 1v1s. Guys, I cannot say this like loud enough.
Absolutely, positively, I could not emphasize this more. No!
Oh, fuck blooming spam. Don't spam blooming in 1v1s. This skill is unsafe. You will die when you just spam it. Of course, it can work sometimes. I don't say you should not use this skill. Use it, just use it like smart. Don't spam it. If you spam this, you will probably die, and then you will complain that your class is shit. No, don't spam this skill. You can spam this with the blue buff, but don't do it. Just use the skill in combos, or when you are absolutely sure you can punish your enemy now and you can't be CC'd, or yeah, this is a high risk, high reward skill. This is unprotected. Even if it's ranged, if you think, oh nice, this is ranged, I can just cast it now everywhere and everyone will die. This will not work. Just don't do that. So, yeah, hope you guys got it. Don't spam blooming. It's a super good skill. It's really strong. But don't spam it. So, next skill that the two skills we got from Awakening is one is Cross Crusher. It's the same Cross Crusher as Awakening, other animation, but it's completely the same, no difference. However, the PvE version of the skill is now different. So when you have a look at the Cross Crusher from Awakening, it has actually 8 hits instead of 6. However, in PvP, those hits will not apply. So you have 6 hits in PvP and 6 hits and 8 hits in PvE for the Awakened one. For the Succession one, you just have the 6 in both. I don't know why they did this, but it's just the way it is. So the next is Fiery Angel. Fiery Angel is now in SA again. Back in the days, like in the old Musa days, Fiery Angel was already in SA, but now it's SA again. However, you lose the float, so there's no CC attached to it. And yeah, you can use it for movement. However, Fiery Angel will not get your stamina back, like the awakened one. What is one of the reasons why you have like stamina issues. So if you chase a bit, then you look at the stamina bar, it will not get your stamina back. Also, if you linger your Gale, you will not get your stamina back. The only where you get your stamina back, also not in Backstop Slash, is Rising Storm. And yeah, just for you to know, you have to manage your stamina better with Succession. You can't just play super aggressive all the time, because you have to have a look on your stamina. So from what I've experienced, Succession is a bit more passive playstyle. You can play aggressive in certain situations, but in general, you have to keep an eye on the stamina bar more. So the Eye of the Storm is our E-buff. It's 20 AP, 50 resistance, 30 crit rate, and it's nearly the same, more crit, more damage, absolutely fine. Not the best buff in the game, but it's a decent one. Nothing more to say about here. Your block counters also, it's still a frontal guard. It's a stun, however, not a knockdown anymore. And it's also a really high damage skill now. So what I would do in your case, I would try to like do it yourself. So when you press LB or L1, you can trigger it manually with RB or L1 and hold it to make those 2 slices. And the second slice is like it's really high range. It doesn't look like it, but the range on that is definitely higher than it looks like, and the damage on that is really high. You can half health people with that, just with that skill. This is really good, good damage skill. However, this is just frontal guard, and you're locked in position for a bit, so you have to keep an eye on your back when you're using it. But it's a really good, it's a really good CC, a really good damage skill. I'm glad that we have it. For the kicks come a bit more in handy now, especially the roundhouse kick, because it's a knockdown. So when you run out of CCs, or you don't have your blind slash available, or your cross crushers of cooldown, and you CC someone, you can use your kicks and follow up with any succession skill. So the kicks are actually now a bit more useful. I need to check. I will try in the next weeks a bit with the kicks, and let's see, maybe I can find a cool combo with them. Have to see how that turns out. However, the kicks are finally like a bit more useful. Then we have Tiger Blade. Tiger Blade in Succession is definitely stronger. So when you activate it in Awakening, you just can use your auto attack, your Dragon Bite with Dragon Claw. However, and your cover and Divider. However, in Succession, I think I'm not sure if you could use a Divider though. Could be that you can use Divider just in Succession. However, you can use your Gale, and yeah, this Divider. You are fully protected, so you have SA the whole time. You can't be CC'd. You just can't be grabbed, but you can't be CC'd. Even if you just stand there, you have like infinite SA for 30 seconds. And since you can spam your cover, so your L2 R1 or LT RB, and you can spam this. Like, I will showcase this in 1 minute again when I'm on Tiger Blades off cooldown. And every hit is a CC. There's no cooldown to that. You can just chase around your targets and try to CC it. Also, you don't use stamina while chasing, which is really good. You use stamina while attacking and not while chasing. It's in Tiger Blades the opposite, so you can like have infinite movement but can't attack infinitely. So yeah, just for you to know. I showcase this when Tiger Blades off cooldown again. So, this is the Tiger Blade. If you use your absolute cover, you can do like basically this. and CC with every hit. Like, only this little slice, it's enough. And you can't be CC'd, you're super armor. Also, the best part of a Tiger Blade, you can combo it out of it. By pressing L1 or L2 or LB, LT, you can cancel into Rising Storm Blaze or just into Rising Storm out of Tiger Blade immediately, what is one of the best parts in my opinion. So Tiger Blade really strong right now, just for you to guys to know, and now we continue with our video. In the meanwhile, we go over the other skills that we have left. Yeah, that's just the passives. Passives, not much to say. We get the the passive 10 crit rate, really good. Damage, just damage. And the Siren buff. So this is your blue buff, the Siren Mind buff. So, I mean, you can read it yourself. But basically, what you can do with it, when you get your you can see the skills where you can get this where you can get it from. So you do your Steambite and you have your blue buff. If you use your blue buff on a skill that's like off cooldown, for example Rising Storm Blaze, the range on the blaze is higher with this blue buff. Also, this is for Gale. If you use it off cooldown, the attacks get a little boost. If you have the Serene Mind buff and your blaze is on cooldown, it will consume the buff and give you the skill even if it's on cooldown. So also the SA applies. For example, on Gale, you can basically use this all time. And you have always a lingering SA there that you can trigger. You can get your... you have many skills where you can get your Siren. You get it from Cross Crusher, you get it from Backstop Slash, you get it from Musa Spirit, from Ultimate Musa Spirit, from Steambite, from Blind Thrust, you get it from Blind Slash. From all those skills, I think that's a few more. I think Divider's also... Oh, your Fiery Angel, the hit from Fiery Angel, Divider, you can get it from Divider. So there's so many ways to get this blue buff. And with this blue buff, you can reset your cooldowns, you can cast your spells again, you can keep up your protections. And this is basically the whole kit from Musa Succession. When you have like huge knowledge when or how to activate your blue buff, like good situations, like you can rotate your stuff like really good. I'm not like I just played it one day. I try to get used to it more, and in 1v1s I do really good at the moment, I think. But in large scale and 1vx or something like that, I need to train more. And this is also the how you can spam your blooming, by the way. It consumes the buff, and you can just spam it all day. But this was why I said just don't do that, because the blooming is still unprotected. And when you're using a skill off cooldown with the Siren Mind buff, it deals less damage. Not that much less, but less damage. So just to keep you in mind, this you can reset your Rising Storm Blaze, your Prime Gale, your Prime Cyclo Slash, and your Prime Looming. These are the skills that you can like reset with this skill. Also, Cyclone Slash is really nice. For example, you can just use your Cyclone Slash. You can get your Steambite. You can... Oh, you can't do that from hotbar, I see. Okay, that's interesting. Huh, okay, so you can't do that from hotbar. That's, didn't know that. Okay, nice. Good to know. So you can just use it then after Blind Slash, I guess, with the Siren Mind buff. I think I have to look if there's actually an input for that. I didn't check this, actually. So there's an input after that. Hold albeit after. So yeah, maybe that will work. Yeah, that will work. That will work. I mean, I don't know why someone should do this, but yeah, you can just spam your Cyclone Slash then. Oh shit. Yeah, but I don't see a reason why you should do that. The only reason why I would use Siren Mind Buff for your Cyclone Slash is for this combo here. For your Blind Slash, Cyclone Slash combo. For this one. Yeah, this is to the Siren Mind Buff. When you play Musa Succession more, you will get a feeling for that, and yeah, it will take some time, guys. Don't stress yourself. I need to learn it as well. Yeah, I still do mistakes. Everyone does mistakes. Just try it a bit, and you will get used to it with time. So that's basically it. For the end, I have some comparison with Hystria, with Awakening and Succession for you, and also 1v1 versus our guild leader Jacob. He got also his Succession on his Wizards yesterday, and we had a little fights. We both were shit, like not good, so don't judge the fight on that. We were just trying to learn our new classes, so just keep that in mind. For what I can give you before I show you the footage, I can give you like a few simple combos of what I figured out so far. So when you let's go to this here. I like this one more. When you get your arrow with a stiff, then you can follow up with a Steambite stun, do your Rising Storm, Blind Slash, Cyclone Slash. After that, you can do your, for example, can do Cross Crusher into, not into Blooming, into Gale and then into Blooming, or you can do, I think you can do instantly Blooming, or you use your Gale. Wait a second, I need to get the combo done. Like probably... Yeah, something like that. You can freestyle with Succession Musa a lot. Not gonna lie. This is because of the Siren Mind Buff. You can, yeah, use that. You can just freestyle your combos. I think I'm pretty sure there are max DPS combos, but I need to figure out. I did a bit of research and I saw a bit of combos, but many Musas do different stuff, and yeah, just. Get this, that you have like Cross Crusher, Gale into Blooming, Blind Slash into Cyclone Slash, Rising Storm Blaze, and these are like Backstop Slash, they're like pairs. Also for PvE, you can create infinite loops. For example, you do your and something is very important. You always need to do your forward blind thrust, because after your forward blind thrust, also after Gale, I think your Rising Storm Blaze is faster. So the whole animation is way faster. So for example, infinite loop, you go with Steambite forward blind thrust Blaze, blind thrust Cyclone Slash Blaze, Backstop Slash Blaze, forward blind thrust, Steambite, Blaze. Yeah. Blind Slash, Cyclone Slash, Blaze. In PvE you basically do this all the time. And when you have it up, you can do a Cross Crusher into Gale, into Blooming, Steambite, forward blind thrust, Blaze. Backstop Slash, Blaze. Blaze. So I hope you like Rising Storm, guys, because you will lose this skill a lot. This is like, so you can, with the Serene Mind Buff, you can just create like these infinite loops. What I've in history, however, I got CC'd more often, because when you use everything like Rising Storm so often, you get CC'd a lot, and like from tankers or something like that. So you keep an eye on that. I'm not really get used to it, to the kit now, so when you see the footage now, the comparison between Awakening and Succession, keep in mind that I fucked up my rotations in with both of them, kinda, because also Awakening you use Twister now a lot again, and I needed to figure out what is the best skill rotation now. Also for Succession I've messed up the rotations a bit, and but you can get, when you see the footage, you can get an idea of how the grind looks, and that the grind is pretty okay right now. So I think both are. I think Awakening is slightly better, but yeah. In general, both great kits, guys. You can just play it if you want. Play just what you like. There's nothing. There's no really best. So just do what you want, guys. And for threshold power, I didn't test this threshold power yet, but I was able to pull out like 3.2k to 3.3k before with Awakening, with the old Awakening kit. So on Calcrease rotation on Hystria, in Akman it was around in my top room, not the top room, like a room under the top room. This was my favorite room. I was able to pull out 8.1 or 2k. And there was another room, I think 3 about the potion vendor. It was like nearly 9k, so there was a bit much, but I don't like this room because it's so stressful, and yeah. So, and you will be able to do more now with Awakening, and I'm pretty sure you can also do more with Succession than the old Awakened kit. However, I think at the moment Awakening has the bit of advantage in PvE. Maybe definite, yeah. I have to see. I have to test a bit. I will keep you guys updated in the future when I figure out new stuff. I will not do like a whole guide now. This is not a whole guide. I can't do a whole guide now. I have no idea, like not no idea, but I have too little idea from the Succession class yet to like make a guide. However, at the moment I'm working on a Musa guide for Awakening, a big one, like a really big one. Not like my last one is already a bit outdated, so I'll upgrade this one for a completely new guide. And for example, I will do a 1v1 section there where I explain how to fight with Musa against every Awakening class and how you can beat every Awakening class. Not like beat like 100%, but I will show you a way against every class how you can play against them, and at least 1 or 2 ways how to deal with them, or where to catch them, or what you should do in certain situations. This guide will be super long. I'm working for that on that like a few, yeah, I think it's a week now already. Hope you guys are excited for that, and I will play Succession though in the next weeks, and hope I can deliver you guys a few more information in the future about console. But as a summary, guys, if you're doing super large scale and you have important fights, I would stick with Awakening at the moment because performance is super crap. Awakening is the most safe kit in my opinion for this performance in this particular situation right now. When the new consoles come out, maybe Succession will be super viable to play and even better in large scale. We have to see. But in everything else than large scale, I would say pick what you want. Both are really good kits. And try out Succession, guys. It's new. It's something new. Even if I prefer Awakening still a bit more. I switched a lot this day and yesterday in 1v1s. In PvE, I switched really a lot. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. That was a bit longer than I expected to be already, but yeah guys, see you next time and have a good one.